After a day at sea, we arrived at West Point Island in the Falklands. It's a privately owned farming island, home to black-browed albatross and rockhopper penguins. A short hike across the island took us to the bird colony. The neighbors have occasional squabbles. After a return walk across the island, we got sweet treats from the residents. Back on board, we ate lunch while cruising to our next stop, Saunders Island. No landing is guaranteed, and with the high winds this day, the crew wanted to check it out first. But we all made it. The pros made it too. Saunders Island is home to 4 species of penguins, and it's the site of Britain's first settlement in the Falklands. It's also where we got our first taste of how quickly the weather can change in this part of the world. A storm blew up, blew over, and blew away in minutes. After dinner that night, we were offered an ocean of chocolate. The next morning, the South Atlantic Ocean, on the way to Stanley, the capital of the Falkland Islands. For a century and a half, the British used the Falkland Islands for ship repair and refueling. Before the Panama Canal was built, it was an important stop for ships transiting the Straits of Magellan. The Anglican Christ Church Cathedral is the southernmost cathedral in the world. 1982, Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands, claiming them for itself. After a swift response by the British, the Argentines surrendered. That war is still fresh on the minds of the islanders, as is the memory of British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Nearly every evening offered a lecture specific to our travels. Later, it was back to the cabin for a good night's sleep. The next day, we would cross the Scotia Sea en route to South Georgia Island, one of the gateways to the Antarctic. En route, we encountered some of the winds and waters that this part of the world is known for. But the churning waters provide a benefit, stirring up food from below and attracting wildlife like penguins, dolphins, and whales.
It's one notch above whale soup.
Yeah.
Look. Oh, you can see the chevron.
Yes.
Look at them all.
Oh.
Quite sure. I think I was doing flock shooting next to that.
South Georgia and Antarctica are among the most pristine environments on Earth and require special procedures. The crew thoroughly cleaned our parkas, paying special attention to debris in the Velcro. And every time we got off the ship or got back on, we washed our boots with disinfectant. Hey there. Hello there. How are you doing?
They move?
And it won't move until the mate comes in. This one.
Yeah, so he's the only one.
Stromness Bay on South Georgia Island is where the remarkable story of Ernest Shackelton ends. Shackelton was an Anglo-Irish Antarctic explorer, best known for leading the Endurance expedition of 1914 to 1916. In 1914, Shackleton made his third trip to the Antarctic with the ship Endurance. He planned to cross Antarctica via the South Pole, but in early 1915, Endurance became trapped in the ice and 10 months later sank. Shackleton's crew had already abandoned the ship to live on the floating ice. In April 1916, they set off in 3 small boats, eventually reaching Elephant Island. Shackleton left his navigator and right-hand man Frank Wild in charge at Elephant Island. Then he and 5 others departed in the small boat J. Caird, sailed for 16 days across open ocean, and finally reached South Georgia. Then they hiked across the mountainous island to the whaling station. The remaining men from the Endurance were rescued in August 1916. Not one member of the expedition died. Shackleton's last expedition in 1922 aimed to circumnavigate the Antarctic continent. But in January, Shackleton died of a heart attack off South Georgia. He was buried on the island. Today, the old Stromness station lies abandoned, populated mainly by penguins, seals, and the occasional tourists. Grytviken is where Shackleton is buried, and there we got a chance to toast the boss.
sits up almost as tall as I am.
With 2 days of open sea ahead, there was time for silliness, like American Western night.
are just now.
The winners, of course, a British couple.
Well done, thanks for...
But I get all confused when I start looking for a date. For I can't tell boys from the girl. And friends is really messing up my world. They all wear long hair and bouncy curls.
There was also time for seriousness, like the strict environmental rules for stepping on the Antarctic continent. It kept us busy while we crossed the churning ocean currents known as the Antarctic Convergence.